I'm Kate Jennings. I'm an executive coach, and I'm based in Stamford, sort of north of Cambridge, in the United Kingdom. And I work with a whole range of organisations, a lot of academic, scientific and research organisations in Cambridge, plus more widely, other organisations in the UK and in Europe, helping people, enabling leaders to excel. That's my strapline, and I work with leaders at all levels, helping them develop leadership skills and behaviours. I came into coaching via the counselling route. I did a big postgrad therapy qualification about 25 years ago, and decided I didn't actually want to work as a therapist. I've always been fascinated by how people tick, what makes us us, what we can do to bring out the best in ourselves at work and home. And then in 2007, I was invited to join the Level 7 Diploma in Executive Coaching that's run by the Institute of Leadership and Management. And I got a taste of coaching, and I thought, oh, this is great, because my background had been commerce. I'd been in the food industry, working with Tesco, Sainsbury's, M&S. My last role was involved in setting up a new factory for Waitrose, and I led teams for many years. And suddenly coaching seemed to be that combination of business orientation, but the people and psychology side I'd really enjoyed through my counselling training. I'd been working as a coach for many years and have got some very long-standing clients. And I wanted to broaden out and do more, and was looking for an accreditation that showed prospective clients that I worked at a certain level. Coaching is unregulated. So I was looking for an accreditation, and I knew, because of my supervisor and the coaching circles I was in, that ICF, the International Coach Federation, was the gold standard. And I wanted to go in at Professional Certified Coach status, PCC, because of the hours that I'd done and the years I'd been working. So I was looking for a course that would top up my coach training hours, as well as help me learn. And I actually first saw Tracy on LinkedIn, when someone who had got this PCC status put a post out and thanked her and her colleague Hilary Oliver for their support during it. So I looked her up, I looked Hilary up, and saw they worked very closely together. And I think I was attracted to her because of her links with ICF. I think she's been a previous board president or something very senior. So I figured she would have a really good understanding how ICF worked and would be able to give the right support for me to go through that credentialing process. Well, in order to get accreditation, I needed to have training that had been approved by ICF. And so I was on the lookout for courses that were approved by ICF, would give me the CCEUs, Continuing Coach Education Units, I think they stand for, with ICF. And I looked around. I looked at some big courses that were quite expensive, that were face-to-face. I decided I wanted to do it virtually because it would fit in around the other work I do. I've got quite a busy calendar. And I liked the idea of Art and Alchemy because it was the next step after basic coach training. I didn't want to do basic coach training. I felt I'd probably got the basics. I hoped I got the basics. But I really liked the fact that it was the next step in coach training, and that it was rooted in the competencies, the ICF competencies. That was a big draw for me. I needed to be really familiar and skilled in using them, and the Art and Alchemy course covered those in a lot of depth, and went through each of the 9 competencies in depth. The other thing I liked was that it does talk about art and alchemy. It's not just competencies, it is that who you are in the room, the relationship you've got with the clients, and that sort of ethereal kind of alchemy bit that creates the partnership that enables the person to move forward. So I like that side of it as well. Well, I think it made me realise how much I needed to know. As I said, I thought I was an okay coach going into it. But I realised there was a certain amount of things I wasn't perhaps doing as rigorously as I could do. So it opened up some gaps in that area. And it demonstrated that whole beginning, middle and end of the coaching process in a really, really clear way. And because we had, I think we had something like 14 days in total, 14 times we were working together. So over that period, there was a lot of learning. I think initially, while I had wanted to learn about the competencies, I was a bit like, oh, these competencies are really difficult. I don't know if I can get my head around them all and use them and think about them. But the advantage of the training, because it takes place over a long time, is we all did get to that point. And we did a lot of practice. It's very, very skills based, and that's what I also liked about it. Quite a lot of the other programs don't give so much time for developing the skills. Given that coaching is a practical skill, we would spend chunks of time every day coaching each other. I think I am now a better coach because of all of that. How do I know that? Because I'm getting more recommendations from clients I've worked with, and they're asking me to work with colleagues who they're in their organisations and all their teams. So I feel I'm more thorough, and I take that increased business as a sort of a sign other people do as well. And one of the things I wanted to understand was where my rates sat compared to other people. And so I asked some people what they charged, and people were very open, and I realised I was undercharging. So I've almost virtually doubled my rates since doing the course. Clients have accepted it, so that's been fine. And also it means that the time I thought it would take me to pay back the course has massively decreased. One of my passions is helping people to find what they're good at and to do it. And I think coaching helps people do that. I think it helps them feel more confident in their skill set. It helps improve relationships with people. It helps address issues that are difficult and therefore decrease the stress that accompanies that. I think it makes a big difference to leaders, which then has a knock-on effect on their teams and the people who work with them. And I think that's really positive. So I think any time we do anything that helps improve how people function and relate, I think that's helping them and those around them. And also what it does is it helps people at home. I mean, one guy I was coaching, senior director, he said it's transformed me inside and out, and I'm a better person at work and at home. And one of the reasons is he was delegating more to his team, he was using the expertise in his team, building his team, and wasn't working ridiculous hours. And he was working much more steady hours, getting home. He had a wife and some children, and he was seeing a whole lot more of them. So he says, I'm much better at home as well, and I'm better at work. So I think coaching has a really positive role to play in that. I've recently got involved with the Coaching with Conscious program that Tracy runs, which is designed to offer high quality, lower cost training to charities. I've chosen to work with the Mind program because I've got a really keen interest in mental health. And that's a way of working with leaders in these charities who have an amount to spend on personal development and choose to put it towards coaching at the very reduced rates that are offered. So it's always fascinating working with coaching, working with clients. I get energized by doing it, so I always get something from it, from my point of view. And it's good to be able to give something back to senior leaders within Mind and the other charities that I know she works with. I've kept in contact with many of the people on my Art and Alchemy cohort, and we meet regularly. There was a real benefit when a number of us were preparing for our credentialing exam. And we worked together for that. And given that we each had slightly different approaches, that was really beneficial. And there was sort of the moral support as well. We all kind of took it within about 6 weeks of each other, those are people I was working with. I haven't yet joined the book group, but I would like to. So that would be something else. And also, Tracy's really responsive. You know, sometimes I might contact her about something and she always comes straight back with an answer. I'm thinking of doing a team coaching program, so that might be another way I train with them. And it does feel like a caring community. When you work for yourself, which I do, you're very much on your own. So having other people that you can contact or meet up with regularly, or say, hey, I'm struggling with this client. Anyone got any ideas? Or, oh, this coaching book's just come out. Let's discuss this at our next get together. is great, and we're all different. We all coach in different ways, and we have different styles, and that's the richness of it. It was the richness on the program, and it's been the richness following it as well. I think it's a generous community. I think that's the style and culture of Tracy, and I think that's what she's created. I think the alumni membership and benefits is good, and I think she knows her stuff. So I would absolutely recommend Art and Alchemy if you've done some coaching and you want to take the next step. It's a great place to do it.